Very Bad Things is a 1998 released black comedy thriller directed by Peter Berg.
Yes, it stars, well, various people we'll get onto in a minute, as a group of friends who are going to Vegas on a stag do, or a bachelor party, whatever you want to call it, because one of them's getting married, obviously. And while they're there, they get a stripper in their room, and she's accidentally killed. What do? They don't tell anybody.
No,
they
don't.
Decide to cover it up, and then somebody else gets killed. And they kind of have to live with the consequences, and they slowly unravel as the film goes, and lots of vile, horrible, awful things happen to
They
people.
do, yeah.
Lots of mistrust and arguments and all kinds of stuff. It's kind of like The Hangover, but with murder and misery, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose I've never seen The Hangover, but if you mix The Hangover with Shallow Grave,
Yeah.
it's basically this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I would say so. So the guy that's getting married is played by Jon Favreau, who, back when he made this in the 90s, was most famous for being an actor. He was in Swingers. Stuff like
PCU.
that. Yeah, if you say so.
It's a great film. Teen stoner comedy in high school or university. Like Animal House.
Oh, right.
90s Animal House. Very funny. Really good film.
I haven't seen that, but it
It's
sounds
worth
good.
seeing.
But of course, these days, more famous as a director. He did the first two Iron Man films and did the Jungle Book. Yeah, his friends. You've got Christian Slater, Jeremy Piven, who was also in.
He was also in PCU as well. Yeah.
Daniel Stern, who loads of stuff. Home Alone, probably most famous for, possibly. And Leland Orser, who.
Oh yeah, he's the guy that always plays kind of crazy, paranoid. Yeah. He's the guy in Seven, isn't he?
He's in Seven.
He's
in.
Sex
I think he's in Alien Resurrection as well. He's like a jittery.
He's always jittery.
Yeah.
He's always terrified, but he's good at being really terrified.
I mean, that's the thing I would say about these films. All those actors basically play the exact people that you would expect them to play. So Christian Slater is like sleazy and conniving and gives lots of speeches.
Like Heathers. He's very much like his character in Heathers and that, isn't he? Jeremy Piven's like a bit kind of zany and crazy-eyed and just out for a lot of fun.
Jon Favreau is kind of like the sort of how do you say it?
He's kind of the peacemaker, isn't he?
Yeah, kind of just the normal one, I guess you would say.
Kind of,
yeah. And Daniel Stern is kind of like the sort of nerdy one.
The nerdy safe
he's got a family, he's got a minivan and things like that.
Yeah.
And Leland also, like we say, he's like jittery and not quite right. Yeah, they're all exactly how you would expect them to play those characters, and it all just fits. I mean, the other big name in it is Cameron Diaz, who's playing the bride, and I mean she's great in it as well. I mean, again, we spoke about her in when we did Last Supper, way back when we first started, and in the 90s she chose like quite a few quirky indie films. I think she was really good in a lot of them, including this one. She gets. She wants to get married. Nothing's going to stop her.
No, nothing.
She's completely obsessed with it. Whatever's going on, murders and whatever, it doesn't matter. Nothing is going to derail her wedding day.
Yeah.
So...
so it's got, it's not a huge cast, but it's a very well-known cast. And, I saw this film years ago when it came out.
Yeah, I did.
And I think I have seen it once since then. And then I hadn't seen it for quite a long time, and you suggested we do this one this week. And I still loved it. It's very funny, and I'm a big fan of black comedy.
Yeah.
Especially comedy that is very black, and this is very black.
It doesn't get much darker than this, though, I don't think.
No, definitely not. I think it's got... But what I forgot, actually, was that the stuff in Vegas actually doesn't take up most of the film.
No.
What really takes up the film is the kind of the paranoia and the guilt between all the friends afterwards, between them kind of coming home and the wedding, without obviously giving too many spoilers away. It's the most of the big thing happens when the stripper gets killed in the hotel room, which is a very funny sequence actually. That whole they kind of play around with a few montages in there of things happening. There's a scene that I always remember that made me laugh the first time I saw it, and it made me laugh this time as well, when I think they're cleaning up and cutting up all the bodies, and one of the actors slipped on some blood, and it kind of looks like it's probably accidental, but it's just quite funny, and it kind of fits with the music that's playing. And I think, I'm a big Christian Slater fan. Love Heathers. Pump Up the Volume is another great film of his. You know, all the great Christian Slater films. He's always plays that kind of, you know, he feels like he could be your best mate, but then he's also the kind of the best mate that will take you down the bad path in life, and you shouldn't really maybe trust the guy. And he does that perfectly in this film. He's just excellent. So yeah, he's great. And like, you know, we've spoken about the other actors in there. You know, they're all perfectly fitting for the roles that they are in. There's a very funny moment with Leland Orser actually. I think it's when they're burying the bodies, and they're all kind of getting ready to bury them. And then, of course, Daniel Stern's character, who is Jewish, decides that all the body parts need to be put together because it's like sacrilege if they're kind of spread apart. And there's one moment where you just see Leland Orser just sitting there, and it's just his eyes are just so paranoid and scared. It's just hilarious just watching him. I mean, he's, you know, as I said, he was the guy in Seven that has the nasty incident in the sex club with the thing. But it's just, and he's perfect in that, and he just does it so well. He's one of those actors I always kind of look forward to. If you know he's in the film, you're like, yeah, okay, this is going to be a bit of a crazy film. I think it's really good. And obviously it was directed by Peter Berg, as I said at the beginning, and this was Peter Berg's first film that he ever directed. Of course, again, like Jon Favreau, before this, he was known as an actor, so he turned up in films like, he was in The Last Seduction that we covered. Yep. And he was in some other films. Shocker. We probably mentioned all these when we spoke about him in The Last Seduction, so we won't go over him again. But, you know, I think it's been directed well. You know, it's a good, you know, I suppose similar to maybe other films that came out of that kind of late 90s.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, black comedy humour type stuff.
I mean, I think, again, I guess it's not too dissimilar from Last Supper.
No,
that's got quite a lot of dark humour in it. So I think, you know, if you're a fan of that, then Very Bad Things probably be right up your alley. I think
we mentioned Shallow Grave when we were talking about Last Supper. So I think, you know, this is that kind of. It's not the whole, you know, finding a bag of money type situation. It's more the, you know, you've accidentally killed someone off. I have to say though, actually, because when they kill the stripper, which is an accident, and then obviously then what happens next. It really does go, you know, like, you know, what? Because in that first situation, you'd be like, well, what would you do?
Yeah.
Because you could probably get away with it if you did call the police, which of course they don't. But then what happens next, you're really screwed.
Yeah, that's it, you can't.
Totally.
You're not going to get away with anything.
And they really play with the paranoia. There's some really great stuff that they do with the paranoia, especially the people in there who clearly are not handling it very well.
No.
And there's some really great stuff in there. If you haven't seen this film, I definitely recommend it. If you like, you know, very funny, very dark, humoured films with some really great acting, then, you know, I would definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a bit of gore and that, and there's a couple of nasty scenes in there, but just prepare yourself for that. And there's no one, if you were looking for somebody to root for, there isn't really anyone, is there?
Not really. Maybe Jon Favreau, but even then he's a bit, you know.
Kind of, no one really comes out of it that well, do they?
Not really.
So, no, don't go into it, you know, looking for a sort of feel-good film, because you won't get it.
Oh, no. It's not a feel-good film in the slightest, no. But it's if you don't like feel-good films, you will probably get something out of it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And you can see this?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of almost a little bit forgotten. I mean, I got it on DVD, way back when it came out on DVD. So not hard to find on DVD. But I think there's a couple of Blu-rays. Maybe there's one in Germany and one in Italy, I think. But I don't think the quality is supposed to be that great. And there's no extras or anything on it. I don't know if because of the subject matter in it. I don't know. I think maybe Peter Berg is sort of distanced himself from it slightly, and the actors don't really like it anymore. I don't know, but some of the stuff they do is questionable, reprehensible.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's not. You know, I would say it's probably, you know, because I've always thought that we are very good at doing dark and black humour, and it's quite close to something you might get in. I mean, like I said, it's quite Shallow Grave like.
Yeah.
It's very dark, and maybe it's too dark for Americans, but it sure as hell isn't too dark for us.
No.
So I think if you're British, you'd probably really go for it. I think it's got that, you know, that really kind of just dark humour. You know, we seem to like to laugh at dark things in this country, and maybe the Americans don't do that so well, and so maybe that's why they distanced themselves from it.
I don't know.
Who knows? But scaredy cats.
Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
maybe you are.
Don't know, but no, there doesn't seem to be any sort of sign of a any sort of Blu-ray and anywhere else,
Right.
apart from where it's already been released. So,
Okay.
but no, it's a shame because it is, it's good and it's got a great cast, and if you can stomach the story and the things that happen, then it's good, fun.
So that was Very Bad Things, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, let us know in the comments below.
Yep, if you like what you watched, hit the subscribe button up there, and check out some of our other videos over there. Come and find us on Twitter and Facebook, and join us next week for another one.